This is the speed that the designers think they're moving. This is the speed that contractors think you're moving. You know, a designer can't work fast enough for the contractor, for the installer, or for the client in some cases. This is what the contractor thinks you're designing. This is what he's going to see is a truckload after truckload after truckload of cabinetry, and this is how many people he thinks he's going to need to install what you've just drawn. You know, I don't know how many of you run into the situation, well, this isn't what I thought you were designing when you designed this. And this is all about communications. Everything begins with a plan. You really have to think about everything you do. In design, form follows function. The room must work well first, then you make it look good. This is where we started with this job on the left, and this is where we ended up. Over the peninsula or over an island hood, something different. Start off with just a hood liner. Just buy the hood liner that goes inside of the custom hood, 2x4 it to the ceiling, and then put all these moldings over it. By the way, everything in here is all J&K cabinets. Every part and parcel in here. Multi-function appliances usually do only one of the two functions well. Case in point, microwave exhaust hood. How many have had a microwave exhaust hood and you boiled spaghetti and the front of your microwave is all fogged up? Well, why is that? Because the hood is no good. Well, it's no good, it just isn't designed right. First off, the back of the hood is lower than the front. Well, what happens when smoke comes up here now? Where's it going to go? Forward. Okay. Of course, if they did it like this, then you'd have hot steam dripping on you. Yes, they have a 300 CFM fan in there, or a 400 CFM fan, cubic feet of air per minute, but they put this big mesh filter in front of it, which effectively cuts it down to 150 CFM. Then they have this ductwork. It's about the size of a hefty Slurpee straw. Okay. And then I'm sure whoever installed it put a bunch of corners on it, so now it's like blowing through a straw and pinching it. It just doesn't work. The proper fan has a right size canopy, the right size fan, and the right size ductwork. The bigger the ductwork, the quieter the fan. I could come up with a million different ideas for hoods, but the whole thing is to think these things out and come up with something different. If your plans are different than everybody else's, you're going to stand out. If you've spent more time with a client, you're going to stand out. If you say when the client walks in the door, do you mind if I talk with your contractor? Or seeing what his capabilities are so I can draw up to what he can do. Boy, what have you done? You've just set yourself apart. You've asked a question no one else is going to ask. That's one thing that I've been pretty successful at is getting, you know, if somebody walks in my door and calls me, I'm pretty guaranteed that I'll get a job. Now, the irony of it is I've been in this almost 33 years. I have never advertised. My business is all referrals, and the reason I get referrals is because I get hooked into the contractors. I get hooked into the designers. I have a party for all my clients when my jobs are done. Just a little inexpensive thing. I go to Subway, buy one of these big long Subway sandwiches, bring a couple nice bottles of wine, and we have a little, you know, hey look, my kitchen's done, and all the neighbors get invited.